While making dinner, my dad casually asked, "Did you hear your brother's out of prison?" What? I dropped the spoon into the pasta sauce. Austin wasn't supposed to be released for another 3 years. Early release. Good behavior. Dad didn't look up from chopping vegetables. Don't worry. The restraining order is still active. He can't come within 500 feet. My chest tightened. Dad didn't know about the phone call. 2 weeks ago, Austin had leaned close to the prison phone glass and whispered, "I know what you did, Blair." 3 years ago, Austin held up a convenience store with a pistol. My pistol. My registered hand pistol that I'd reported stolen a week before the robbery. I'd lied to the police and told them I had no idea how Austin got it, but I knew exactly how. I'd left my apartment unlocked that night, on purpose. Austin had been desperate, strung out, talking about one last score to pay off his dealer. He'd already stolen from Mom's purse, pawned her jewelry. When he asked me for money and I said no, I knew what would come next. He'd rob somewhere. So I made sure when he did, the consequences would be severe. The pistol turned simple robbery into aggravated robbery with a firearm. 5 years instead of 18 months. Somehow in prison, he'd pieced it together. "Blair, you okay?" Dad was looking at me. "Fine, just tired." I grabbed my noise-canceling headphones and cranked the volume. The music drowned out everything: Dad's voice, my racing heartbeat, Austin's whisper echoing in my mind. I pulled the garlic bread from the oven, stirred the sauce, which is why I didn't hear the brick. Didn't hear our living room window explode, glass spraying across the floor. Didn't hear the curtains rip as someone climbed through. I was checking the pasta when every hair on my neck stood up. Someone was breathing behind me. I froze. My reflection in the microwave showed a dark shape standing 3 feet away. I spun around. Austin. Prison tattoos crawled up his neck. A fresh scar cut through his eyebrow. His eyes were cold, focused. "Hey sis." His voice was quiet. Too quiet. "Miss me?" I ripped off the headphones. "Austin, you can't be here. The restraining order. Where do you think Dad is right now?" My stomach rose. "What did you do?" "Relax. He's in the garage." Didn't even hear me come in. He took a step closer. His right hand was in his jacket pocket, gripping something. "Want to know what I've been thinking about for 3 years? Austin, please." Every single day in that cell, I replayed that night. You told me you'd be gone. Told me to grab cash from your drawer. But you weren't gone. You were waiting. And that door wasn't accidentally unlocked. I was trying to help you get clean. You set me up. His voice cracked. For a second, I saw the little brother I used to know. Then his face hardened. "You knew I'd take the pistol. You wanted me to. I'm sorry. I was wrong. 3 years, Blair." He pulled his hand from his pocket slowly. I braced for a weapon. His hand was empty, but his eyes shifted to the knife block on the counter. The chef's knife was missing. I'd been using it. 5 others remained. Time slowed down. Austin lunged for the block. I grabbed for the chef's knife on the cutting board but knocked it to the floor. It skittered under the stove. Austin's fingers closed around the bread knife, 8 inches, serrated edge. "Dad!" I screamed. He came at me and I shoved him hard, then ran. My sock slipped on the tile, but I caught the door frame. Austin's footsteps pounded behind me. I hit the stairs, taking them 3 at a time. "Dad! Help!" The bathroom was straight ahead. I dove through and slammed the door, twisted the lock just as Austin crashed into it. The frame shuddered. "Open it!" He hit it again. Wood splintered around the lock. Again, the hinges screamed. I backed against the wall, looking for anything to defend myself. Nothing. The 4th hit shattered the lock. The door exploded inward and Austin filled the doorway, knife raised. "You took 3 years of my life." Dad appeared behind him and tackled him to the ground. They crashed hard, rolling across the hallway. The knife flew from Austin's hand and skittered toward the stairs. Austin broke free and scrambled for it. Dad grabbed his ankle. Austin kicked back, catching Dad in the face. Blood sprayed from Dad's nose. Austin's fingers closed around the knife handle. He spun, raising it as Dad struggled to stand. Austin brought it down. Dad caught his wrists, stopping the blade inches from his throat. They strained against each other, trembling, but Austin was stronger. The knife moved closer, closer. The tip touched Dad's shirt. I grabbed the ceramic lamp from the bathroom counter and swung with everything I had. It connected with the back of Austin's skull with a sickening crack. He dropped. Dad pulled me into his arms as I shook. He called 911 while I sobbed. The police arrived 6 minutes later and found Austin unconscious on our hallway floor. He was arrested for violating a restraining order, breaking and entering, and attempted murder. This time, there would be no early release.